Hey everybody, it's Pete. Welcome to an episode of today's best stock picks to buy. It is Wednesday morning, May 19th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And what I really want to start out with today is first I want to say thank you. I get some really good feedback, both in the comments as well as once in a while somebody will send me a message. I want you to know that especially now as the market is getting a little bit more challenging. We're not kind of going straight up every day. You actually have to have a game plan. You have to dig in deep to really understand which are the best stock picks now and which are the best stock picks going forward. You need to know whether you're day trading stocks, swing trading stocks, and that's really a big part of what we do. Knowing your objectives helps you overcome the obstacles that a lot of people have as frustrations when they're trading stocks. So today we're going to actually have a little bit of a section today about what it means to think and act like a trading professional. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because I just want to give you some, obviously we've never met, right? I want to give you a outline of how to think so that you put yourself in position to win. But just as important is understanding when to be in cash. I know, right? Best stock picks today, right? When to be in cash. That's a position. It's a position because every situation is not perfect. And if you can't look at it and say, there it is, that's why I want to buy, and here's all the reasons, then you shouldn't be buying stock. You should be laying back, waiting for a better risk-reward profile, waiting for better arguments, and then putting your money into the stock market. So first we're going to start up. We're going to actually start out with sector rotation, and then we're going to work our way straight into crypto stocks. Specifically, we're going to take a look at Coinbase, which obviously had the IPO not too long ago, and whether or not coin stock is a buy and how long is it a buy. So stick around. We will be back in 2 seconds. Okay, so heading straight into what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do, like we do every day, we're going to talk about sector rotation. And the image that I want you to see is right here. Now, every single day we start out with this. Now, why do we start out with this? It's very simple. You know that we're known for order flow. You know that we're known for the New York method, which is our style, our strategy of trading stocks. And it starts out with smart money. It starts out with big, deep pockets doing something specific. That's where easy trading comes from. That's where easy stock picks come from, by not predicting and just paying attention to what's going on in the market. And then we just piggyback on the smart money. Well, that's why we start out with sector rotation every day, because we're basically going on a treasure hunt to find the best stock picks without having to predict. We don't forecast. We just, oh, look, there it is. It's already going in the direction I want it to go, which is actually going to bring us right over to my coin stock prediction. So right now we're looking at energy stocks, which have been strong. If you scroll all the way to the right, these are the amount of stocks that meet the criteria over this very short period of time. And we track this every day so that we know if that number is increasing or if that number is decreasing, which would imply the sector could still be going up, but the stocks are diminishing that are meeting that criteria. So energy stocks, they took a little bit of a hit, but they're still strong. And that's a big thing we want to talk about too when we dive into looking at the big picture in the market. Financial stocks doing okay, but what's ironic is the number for the week doesn't look awesome, but the amount of stocks in the financial sector actually increased. So we're kind of seeing under the hood again, right? And they're actually holding up well in the bigger picture of things, even with the market selling off yesterday, and a few select healthcare stocks actually took off yesterday as well. So that's what we're looking at right now. Well, what does that mean? Remember what I just said about understanding and how to think and act like a pro? We're not seeing tech. We're not seeing tech. We're not seeing industrials, and basic materials, which was at the top of the list last week, sank like a stone to the bottom of the list. Now, just to give you a little heads up too, the list is actually, when it says week, it means 5 days. It's not Monday, Tuesday, and that's the whole criteria. So a week is 5 days, a month is 21 days, and obviously yesterday. So you can see the performance of the day, the week, and the month, and how they interact, right? So that's where we are now. It's kind of slim pickings. You really need to have a good game plan. I just want to talk about one stock that somebody actually emailed me about yesterday. which was Schwab. Now, this is really where you need to dig in and really understand the current market conditions and how that actually plays out. Many members of our community, both swing trading and day trading, especially swing trading, have another full-time job, especially now that we're kind of seeing the other side of the pandemic, world's getting back to normal. And you can only place trades either before the market, maybe at lunchtime and after hours. Schwab actually set up as one of our best ideas yesterday. Everything was technically perfect. And you know what? I'm actually going to talk about this now. Trading like a pro. We'll just get right into it. Everything was technically perfect for this stock to break out. We paused for a while, finally broke out, gave us a consolidation, gave us the optimal entry that we like, and the stock broke out, but it broke out within the first 5 minutes of the day, and you can see what actually ended up happening to the stock during the day. Now, this is what I want to get across. Trading stocks, thinking and acting like a pro. You need to pay attention to what's following through, how long you should be holding the trades, when you should be entering the trades, what is the optimal entry for the trade. Right now in the morning, because the market's not following through, we're getting a little bit tougher early buying. We're seeing stocks are taking off, pulling back and rolling over for about 90 minutes, and then weirdly finding a bottom during the day and rallying at that point. And that's actually when the better swing trades are giving us optimal entries. But here's really the point that I want to get across. For a period of about a year, that opening window was easily the best trade out there, period. And it didn't matter whether you were day trading stocks or swing trading stocks. They were exploding to the upside, and it was the right trade because getting in early was the best entry. So we're adapting. We're actually using different share size, using different profit targets, different profit expectations, different position sizing, and how we build positions. That's what it means to trade like a pro. So you'll take a bunch of trades that fit your strategy, but here's the thing. You can't cherry pick. You can't say, well, I'll take that one and maybe I won't take that. If they match your strategy, you have to take every trade, because our job as traders is to allow the probabilities to play themselves out over time. So I want to talk about this trade specifically because it was a losing trade in Schwab. I would take the trade every time, but learning and thinking like a pro, I need to adapt when I'm putting the trade on and notice the patterns of how the market's unfolding. But the key of what I want to talk about here is not so much when, but the fact that 100% I would take that trade every time, because that's what professional traders do. That's what winning traders do. You can't second guess if it was a great idea. If you remember what I started out with to say, this was a great idea. It was absolutely something that met all of our criteria, but it was a losing trade. You have to get comfortable with the fact that great ideas could lose and will lose money sometimes. It's not about the one trade. It's about the totality of all of those trades. And if you want to see your account grow, you really need to start thinking like a pro. And that's, okay, I put on a good trade, it didn't follow through. I put on a good trade, that one did follow through. I put on a good trade, that one followed through. I put on a good trade, that one kind of meandered, and I just got out. That's real trading. Get out of your head every trade needing to be a winner. It doesn't have to be every trade is a winner. What matters is you put on trade, manage risk, and then you learn how to hold winning trades longer. That's what it means to be a professional trader. And you could still be working your full-time job. When I say professional, what I mean is you have a structured plan, and over time you expect to make money. If you'd like to join me, click down below and look at the boot camp. It's a 30-day program that I really think you'll love if you're serious about the market and you want to improve what you do. So now we're going to actually hop in and we're going to talk about Coinbase. And there's a couple of things that we're going to talk about. First, this article, actually a friend of mine, David Trainer, was actually quoted. And I think one thing that he said that was spot on, just absolutely amazing, is that let's think about what Coinbase is in the first place. Coinbase is basically nothing more than a place that does transactions, right? Well, what's going on with broker-dealers right now? All of them are switching over to free commissions. Do you really think this isn't going to happen? The same thing here. So that's separating Coinbase from the actual Bitcoin, which we're going to get to in a second. So Coinbase shares are now down 27%, but this is super interesting. A $1.2 billion convertible deal announced. competition is increasing. You just went public months ago. That's not good for the stock. That is absolutely not good for the stock. So if we run over here and we take a look at coin as of right now, and especially if we add volume into the equation, okay, we are seeing much heavier volume on the selling days. It could not hold the 300 level. Everybody said that was the level, and it looks like we actually are going down again this morning. My prediction for this stock, and I hate to quote Mr. T, is, but I predict more pain for this stock. They're still figuring out their business model. They're still figuring out exactly how they're going to monetize themselves in a commoditized business. It was the quintessential story of sell the news. The IPO came out while they were at all-time highs. Well, crypto was at all-time highs, and it's been nothing but down since then. Now, I'm not being a Debbie Downer. It's just the reality of the business model that they're in until you hear clarity on how they will make money. I can't see anything more than a downward trend right now until that changes, and especially going after more money this close to the IPO. There's something deeper going on under the hood. If you are long this stock right now, if we were friends, I would be telling you that you really need to think about what is the right position size and how do you build that position size. And if the stock continues to push to the downside without any good news, what are you going to do about it? Plan to do that now. Script what your plan is for your position size. Something that's really important to pay attention to now in coin especially is if you start to see good news, which that deal is not good news, and the stock continues to go down, that is about the biggest bearish sign you could possibly see. What you want to start to see is if something comes out that might not be perceived as awesome news and the stock actually catches a bid and starts going up, that's when that last flood of selling is probably done, and then we start to head back in the other direction. So we're going to head over and start to talk about, so what about crypto and crypto stocks? Well, Mara and Riot are the two top ones that I personally trade during the day. So we'll start out with Riot. Again, just not that long ago, the stock was under $10. It was $6 and change. So as of right now, this is the big level. We're really looking at it all the way down, almost another $8 lower, where the smart money finally stepped in and we saw this explosion. And the same thing with with Mara down here in this area. And quite honestly, as long as Bitcoin, which we're going to take a look at in a second, as long as Bitcoin continues to fall, you're not going to see a bid under this market. But this is the area down in the 15 is where, honestly, it's a push down and a pause, a push down and a pause, a push down and a pause. Until that changes or until we get to this major support level, that's really where the longer term trade will be for me. Now, if we go over to Bitcoin, you can see it's actually coming down even further now. We're looking at the May contract that's going to expire soon. And the next level down here is 30,000. If you remember on the way up, 30,000 was a big level. We could probably actually take a look at that on the continuous futures contract just to give you an idea. You can see here, this was the big level where we took off. So that's what we're looking at now. So now we're going to actually hop over into looking at the SPY ETF, and then we're going to hop over into tech stocks. So the question we're getting a lot right now is whether or not the market is broken. Is the market collapsing? And no, no. We had a beautiful fueled stimulus package fueled 2020 while everybody was home. The market, everybody and their grandmother was trading, whether on their phone or their app, whatever it happens to be. But the uptrend is still there. We are forming what's known as a 1, 2, 3 top, where we might be forming a potential reversal. But I got news for you. The market's allowed to go down. So many people that have traded over the last year have not experienced the market going down. And even if it goes down for an hour, we get new members of our community panicking. I'm like, step back away from the keyboard and just look for a better spot to buy. Or like I said, just be in cash or learn to short sell. It's a big part of the market if you're an active trader. So heading over to the chart of the SPY, you can see even from November, we're not even going back to the much bigger trend, even just from November, the uptrend is still intact. Now, if we start to push down and break this 405, 402 level, that's when we would have a confirmed change of trend from the downside to the upside. But the question is, what do you do then, right? Well, what you do then is you start to pay attention to this. You should be able to find ideas within the bigger picture of the market. This is not the entire market. It has 500 stocks, but there's plenty of pockets of opportunity regardless. And probably the financial stocks will be the one, if that inflation number keeps creeping in and interest rates are changing, the financial area will be the area that we're going to look at. But what's noticeably absent right now? Tech stocks, right? We took a look at Amazon. Amazon hasn't done anything since last summer. Apple hasn't done anything since last summer. Microsoft, bad, right? Finally, bunch jumped out. Facebook, not bad, actually jumped out. Netflix, nothing since last summer. So what's going on with tech stocks? If I was looking right now at this moment, looking to be a buyer of tech stocks, it would probably be Facebook at that point, maybe even Microsoft, although there's some stories going on with Microsoft and Bill Gates right now. I don't think that's going to affect the stock at all. But Facebook, believe it or not, even with all of the conversations about the iOS and Apple and all that kind of stuff, Facebook out of the big tech stocks seems to be the one that's holding up the best right now. We're actually going to talk about a couple of other stocks that are in my watch list today, and specifically DDD. We had a hearty conversation about this yesterday. The stock was up nearly 10% yesterday, following through on earnings last week, finally broke this downtrend. This is one of the stocks that's in my list to be watching over a little bit longer period of time, as well as a stock that showed great relative strength yesterday, LYV, which also finally broke this downtrend. Some bigger earnings that are coming out today. We're going to actually start out with Cisco, scheduled to come out pre-market. Let me just pop that in there. Cisco is scheduled to come out pre-market today, as well as Target. And finishing up with Lowe's and TJ Maxx. Those are the biggest ones. The one last stock that I want to talk about that's actually in my list today is UPST. We're looking for follow through on the stock that had 3 great days in a row. What it really needs to do, I need to see it stay above this level, which is right around the 115 level. If it does, then it could make a run back up to this 145 level. So really, I'm going to put this back up on the screen because it's that important. The market's seeing a little bit more volatility right now. The market's seeing a little bit less perfect. Let's get in there and just buy because everything's going up. I think we see that with Tesla stock. It's not as simple as I love Tesla. You have to pay attention. I can't stress this any more importantly. We might meet, we might not meet. Hopefully we do. But you need to know what the expectation is for your trade, and you need to make decisions on how to manage risk, because if you don't learn how to manage risk, you're not going to be around long enough to understand how to manage profits. And that's a big part of trading. So take that as my experience and run with it, because the market's bigger than all of us. You need to know your objectives so you know how to overcome the obstacle. So that's what we have going on today. I really want to thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time to the channel, definitely click down, give us a thumbs up. If you found these videos helpful, click down and subscribe. And if you have any comments, definitely leave it below. I'd love to hear from you. So have a great day, everybody, and I'll speak to you soon.